UIC. Freedom the people of need. Hell yeah. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Real man a road. Now bow wolf in a tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road, me say yeah. Real man a road. Now bow wolf in a tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road.
Okay, welcome back everyone. I hope you can hear me now. I was actually doing a live on a radio station out in uh, St. James, Montego Bay, and unfortunately the sound would not work, so you couldn't hear me. So I had to log off, and I finished that interview. But I wanted to take the opportunity to just come on and line with you a little bit, and so take some questions or get your feedback, and if you want to share with me, we can talk about it. On the live a while ago, the questions were centered around what the UIC would do for Jamaica in terms of security, in terms of the economy, in terms of healthcare, and so on. So they wanted me to speak to their audience about that. So good afternoon. Is it afternoon? Yes, good afternoon to all of you from all around the world. I want to let you know how much I appreciate you and thank you so much for following and supporting the UIC. Please share the live. Yes, it was RAN FM that I was on speaking with Mr. McKnight a while ago. I'm so sorry you couldn't get to hear the interview because it was a very good interview, very short, about 18 minutes. But well, that's not very short for radio. On radio, it's normally less, but 18 minutes chat. Really appreciated them talking to us. That's RAN FM with Mr. McKnight. One of the things which came out in that discussion, and I think we need to really get a handle on this, is we're talking about 78 years here, and that's no small amount of time when you think about it. 78 years. Now, how is it that after 78 years, you have two primary political parties? Well, not primary, the two only political parties that have been on that have been in charge of our country for 78 years. They control our education. So how you see us thinking and behaving as a people is directly related to how they controlled our education. They controlled our healthcare. So the kind of approaches being taken to manage our health, the quality of our healthcare facilities, the general quality of our health across the country is something that they influenced as well. They also controlled our economy. So the economy you see today is the direct result of the way that they managed our economy. So I put this question to you. Why should we trust them now to do any better than they have done for 78 years? If they have done this to us over 78 years, right? They have managed our economy to where it is now, brought it to where it is. They have managed our education system, brought it to where it is. They've managed our healthcare system, brought it to where it is. They have also managed our governance system. They embraced the colonial masters' governance system, and they have implemented this government system, this governance model, over the last 78 years. Greetings, my friends. Greetings, look like Miss Jones. They have managed, they have embraced a particular governance model, right? They embraced this governance model, the one we have today, the governance model with a parliament, with a government and an opposition. They embraced that with the Queen of England as the head of state and the Governor General and all that goes with it, all the different elements of governance that goes with it. They have embraced that and continued that for 78 years. Now they're coming to tell us, I see PJ Patterson saying he regrets not changing to a republic while he was in office. He was the longest serving prime minister, the longest serving prime minister in the history of this country. PJ Patterson, Percival James Patterson, the longest serving prime minister. And he is telling us today that he regretted not making Jamaica a republic back when he was prime minister, serving over 4 terms, really. Because Michael Manley was elected again, I think, in 1992, and PJ Patterson shortly took over from him to finish the term because Michael Manley got sick, right? So how is it now? They have all this talk. The current prime minister has been in parliament for some 25 years. Why didn't he see it fit over those 25 years to advance the policies of the UIC? Now he's copying those policies. Now he's beginning to copy the UIC policies. Both of them are now copying, whether it's our housing. They suddenly now realize that every Jamaican should have a minimum standard of housing. They now suddenly realize that now that the UIC has put forward a policy to make every Jamaican a property owner, and we have a program in place to make 98% of Jamaicans homeowners in quality homes, not the matches boxes that they're making for people and the exorbitant prices that they're charging on NHT homes, having stolen the people money already from them by force. Just now, the Prime Minister is beginning to think that the government should provide a minimum level of housing. Well, let me tell you something. Government has no responsibility to provide a minimum level of housing. That's not the role of government. The UIC is going to do it because the Jamaican people have been denied their rightful claim to their lands and have been marginalized by their colonial masters and by the two parties that represent the colonial masters, who have continued the legacy of colonialism for the last 78 years. Tell me if I'm wrong. So what we have are a bunch of tricksters, and they're trying to again trick the Jamaican people one more time. That's what they're trying to do. And I hope you don't fall for it. I really hope. We have to make sure that we help the Jamaican people not to fall for it. Yeah? So somebody says, I think Douglas Harper is saying, does the UIC use the fact that they are taking our policies to benefit us? I'm not sure of the question, Douglas, but they're not taking our policies to benefit Jamaicans. They're taking our policies because they're trying to make sure that they take the talking points away from the UIC to trick the Jamaican people to vote for them again. That's the entire plan. The Prime Minister, the opposition leader, the two colonial parties have no intentions, none whatsoever, of doing what the UIC is going to do. They have no intentions of doing what we are going to do. So they're not going to do it. So don't even think for a moment that they're actually stealing our plans. What they're doing is stealing the opportunity, trying to take away the opportunity from the Jamaican people to get what the UIC has promised. You see, we're going to do the real thing. We're going to fix the real problems, the problems that they have left for years, the problems that they have actually created. One of the questions that came up on the radio program a while ago was the question of our security. People ask the question all the time, what is the UIC's crime plan? Well, we have an anti-crime plan. What we have seen so far from the other two is a crime plan, a plan that maintains crime in Jamaica. So the UIC, our plan, which includes many things, because, when you're dealing with trying to create a safe environment, a clean environment, a country which is not plagued by crime, There's no one thing you're going to do. There are many things. So our solution comes from the top down. So first of all, we know that the real problem behind the crime in Jamaica is the two colonial parties, believe it or not. They are the cause. They are the genesis of the crime problem in Jamaica. So we have to get rid of the two of them, honestly. Like, let's be very frank. If we're going to fix crime in Jamaica, we have to remove the two colonial parties that are the genesis behind the crime problem. There's no way at all, that two political parties that have been changing places, running our government for 78 years, there's no way that they do not know the real root of the crime problem and how to solve it. They know. So they're playing games with us. Here's how I know they know. Both parties combined have 63, 126 MP candidates across the 14 parishes. 126 MP candidates who are mingling with and working with and know all the inner workings of their constituencies. On top of that, both of them have 228 councillor candidates. Yeah? 228 councillor candidates. That's 456 persons they have on the ground, eyes and ears, seeing and I'm not talking about like the UIC that just come. They have been at this for 78 years. They have been working in all of these communities to secure the votes for 78 years. They know every nook and every cranny in every single solitary division and polling division and constituency and parish and county in this country. These two parties know every inch of Jamaica. They know all the bad man them. They know all the gang leaders. They know all the gang members. They know who thief this and who thief that. They know clearly what is driving the crime problem in Jamaica. They have been responsible for this country for 78 years. They know how the guns are coming into Jamaica. If they don't know how it is coming in, then something is severely wrong with their ability and competency in managing. So there's only two possible problems here in the crime problem. Either the two parties, their leadership, either the two parties are highly incompetent, right? They're highly incompetent. So they're 126 MPs, and there are 256 council candidates, as well as their electoral machinery below that, which is their PD captains and their persons in the PDs. If they, having such a vast network across a small country, 14 parishes, 144,000 square kilometers or whatever it is, if they do not know how the guns are being smuggled in, how the ammunitions are being smuggled in, and the network behind it, and the gang leaders behind it, and the business and economics behind it, if they don't know this, if they do not know this, yeah? Somebody said it's 582. If they do not know the ins and outs of how the crime syndicates, how the criminal gangs and enterprises are being funded and managed and maintained, if they do not know this after 78 years at it, either they're very incompetent or they're very live. Those are the two things you have. Either they're very incompetent or they are complicit in the crime problem. Those are the only two options we have. And either way, you know that we cannot and should not elect them to be in charge of our government. Either Lisa Anna and Mark Golding are incompetent, or Andrew Holness and Audley Shaw are incompetent, or they are complicit in the crime problem. Those are the only two options we have in Jamaica. Incompetent or complicit. Which one is it? Which one is it? Are they incompetent or are they complicit? I leave that to you to decide. But whether or not they're ignorant or complicit, we the people cannot afford to have them in charge of our government. And all the intelligent Jamaican people, all of you who are sitting on talk shows and talking, all of you who have all the bag of chat every single day on the on radio and TV, having interviews and having Zoom meetings and coming with your jacket and your ties, all of you who are talk each and every day and talk, and have lots of intellectual words to spew all over the place. All of you who are not saying this and therefore not taking action, you too are complicit or incompetent. If you cannot see this clearly, those in the PSOJ, those who are sitting at the top in the conference room, in the boardroom at the PSOJ, those who are writing the checks, those who are transferring the millions of dollars to the PNP and the JLP, you know that they know what is causing the crime problem, or you are incompetent. Yes, you know. This is very important, you know. Those who are giving the maximum $30 million to these two parties as contributors, don't you know that these two parties are in fact the underpin of the criminal enterprise in this country? You know that. So let us stop playing here. It's time for us to stop playing and pretending. All of you who go and suck up and kiss up to these members of parliament, you know that they're a part of the criminal problem. They're the ones that Andrew Holness need to say, come, let us be clean with the Jamaican people. Let us be true to the Jamaican people. Let us be open and frank with the Jamaican people. We are the problem. You, Andrew Holness, you, Mark Golden, you, Lisa Anna, you, Crawford, all of you, you are the problem. Because you know that your parties are built on crime. You know that you have used the young men and women of this country to advance criminal activities in order for you to secure power. And this is a game to you. For both of you, this is just a game. How can we trick up the people now to win the vote this time around? Okay, JLP, you win this time. They'll come for you next time. PNP, you win this time. They'll come for you next time. For you, it is just a big joke. But for we, the Jamaican people, it's a matter of life and death. It is our economy and our children at stake here. And it's time for we, the Jamaican people, to get fed up. Get fed up and vote for the UIC. Listen, the UIC will not be able to fool you up, nor do we intend to. We're not going to find money and come and trick you up with some food and trick you up with some rum and trick you up with some $5,000 and then 5 years later you don't hear from us again. We're not going to do that. We're not going to come and buy you some tablets and give only a few of you to friend you up and win in a vote. We're not going to come and give you little playthings, bounce about and six-a-side football match and all kind of foolishness. This is serious business, and let us start be serious about this. Now is not the time to play games. So all the politicians out there, all of you who are playing games with the people about football competition, about bounce about little health fair clinic here and there and give out little freeness here and there to win people. The UIC will not be engaged in that. We are the People's Party. We are the education party, and we're going to educate you, and you must get up and say, we are done with this. We are done with the PNP. We're done with the GLP. We're done with the gimmicks. We're done with the plating. We're done with the buying votes. We want a real Jamaica that give us a chance to have a job and to earn and to take care of our family. It's time we stop this foolishness. Stop listening to all of them talk show hosts that they're not going to get up and join the UIC and fix Jamaica. If they're not going to get off their backside and come and help to fix this country, stop listening to them. When you call the talk show, say, listen, you join the UIC yet? You donate? You volunteer? You help? If you don't do that, stop the talking and come off the radio. Call them on the TV when they have their programs and them nicey talk and talk and talk. Tell them, listen, stop the talking, get up off your backside and let's go fix the country. The UIC is there. It's the poor people party working hard to save the Jamaican. Let's stop playing games. Stop asking questions. Can a third party win in Jamaica? And ask those dumb questions. Let us make sure that the UIC wins in Jamaica. Not because of me or just the UIC, but because of we wanting a better Jamaica, a safe Jamaica, a clean Jamaica, an orderly Jamaica, a Jamaica where every single solitary citizen can live and learn and earn and work with dignity and live in this country. Let us stop playing games. I've had enough of this. We have to stop playing the games. Politics is not a game. Politics is about people's lives. It is about people's lives. And we're losing many lives. Many people are dying every day in this country. They're dying mentally, they're dying physically. We have many children who are being physically, verbally, and sexually abused in this country because we don't have good governance. We're destroying those children. We're taking away their future before they even have a chance. You understand? Many of our young girls are losing their virginity as babies, as little girls. Not even a chance for them to grow up and make their own decision. Many of our boys are being brought into prostitution because of bad governance. Many of our communities are places of horror. You still have sewage running in the streets. You have people living in board houses and zinc houses that are deplorable, dirty, old, mash up, dangerous. There are people without proper running water in their homes. There are people still using outside pit latrine toilets and worse. There are some people without any. There are many communities which you can't get a taxi to drop you at a gate inside the community. Come on, Jamaica. We have had enough of this plaything. We have to move on from this now. We have to get this done. And I can't do it. I don't have enough money to go and buy a vote. So I am not going to be able to go out there and play the PNP and GLP game. I know many of you say, come on, Mr. Patterson, man, what you do? Come out, not gonna do things. I can't come out. I do not have the money to go run up and down all over the country like Mark Golden and Andrew. Andrew is using your tax dollars. Uno pay him. We pay him. Me pay him. I'm gonna take my money. I'm just doing my taxes now. And I say, Lord God, look, God forgive, look how much money I am giving to this government in taxes. You understand? He's taking my money, your money, and even punish us with it. We are paying for them to tell us lies. We're paying for them to force us into things we don't want to go into. The PSOJ leadership, they're paying for Mark Golan to go around the country and see if he can win your affection and lie to you and trick you and then they go again and thief from you. Every so often, they change leaders of these parties to fool you up. Oh, here's a new leader. So 1 minute it was Bruce Golden. He was supposed to come and be the savior. What kind of savior? He was just the same like every other. And him get found out. Yeah? Him get caught with his hands in the cookie jar and have to resign. Then what him do? When him leave, him quickly bring in Andrew and say, yeah man, this is the next trick. We're going to say young people time now. So they have the young people time now movement. The PNP did the same thing. After the people see clearly with PJ Patterson, all the thievery and trickery which was done, with the high interest rate policies of the 90s and how it destroyed many businesses, the FinSac. Then they say, oh, let's bring in Portia now and say a woman time now. So don't get fooled by the leadership changes. They're just using the leadership thing. Yeah? They use new faces to fool them. And if the Mark Golden now work out, they'll bring in the beautiful Lisa Anna to see if that will work. And if that now work out, they'll bring in the sweet talk Crawford to see if that will work. But don't be fooled. It doesn't matter which face they put on the front of it, is the same outcome, because whether you vote PNP or vote GLP, you're voting PSOJ. You understand? Whether you vote PNP or GLP, you're voting for the PSOJ. You're voting for the oligarchs. You're voting for the elites at the top of our economic pyramid who decides who you should vote for. They fund those who will be placed in front of you. So if they don't want Joseph Patterson to be in front of you, they will say, shut him out of the TV. Make sure the Jamaican people don't see him, because we control the TV. We control the radio. You understand me? So they control the TV, they control the radio, they control the government, they control the police. So if Joseph Patterson wants to do a demonstration, go lock him up. If some other nobody wants to do a demonstration, somebody who is not going to challenge us, who is not going to make us feel insecure, who is not going to bring any real solution to the people, let them go on. Let them go on, because them not gonna challenge we. Them just talk. Let all the highfalutin intellectuals go out there and talk, and say, let them talk. Just shut down the one named Patterson. We want to shut down Patterson because Patterson has bring real solution to the Jamaican people. He might talk about real republic and I show the people them say, I want fake one, we want to give them. Patterson is our problem. Get rid of him. Lock him up if you have to. Send police to go scout him out anywhere you want to go and trail him and track him. Yeah? Make sure him have problem with the bank and can't get bank account and whatever, so we can trap him. Let's send infiltrator into him party and let them go there and pretend as if they mean well, and then look for opportunities for how they can destabilize and destroy the movement. That is what they're going to do. And guess what? You allow them to do it. As long as you sit there and don't join the movement, don't volunteer, and don't donate, is the longer they get to plan and plot our destruction until they finally get rid of the UIC and get rid of me. We must not allow them to do to the UIC what they did to Marcus Garvey. We must not allow them to kill the prophet again. It's time for all of us, seriously, all of us to get very, very serious. The UIC is Jamaica's last hope, not because I created it, not because I founded it, but because it is. There is no other political movement in Jamaica that is focused on liberating the Jamaican people. All of them talk foolishness, whether it's the Marcus Garvey People's Political Party or the NDM. All they're talking about is giving them a chance to get back, to get into power and do what is being done now. No, we need a complete change of the system. And I have taken the last 10 years to design such a system. The system that I have designed with the help of a number of persons across the UIC movement is a system that will protect your individual sovereignty. There's no greater system than that. There is no greater system than a system that protects your individual liberty. None. You go and check out all the other systems. All the other systems give somebody or some group superiority over you. The UIC system of governance makes you the center of attraction. The government exists to serve you. And it's very clear, not in these generic terms, very clear. The system of governance of the UIC begins with the premise, which must be clearly articulated and clearly embedded in a new constitution, that you are a sovereign entity. And it's because of that sovereignty that the government and all its actions now must revolve around you, protecting your right to your life, your right to your liberty, and your right to your justly acquired property. That is the new system we need. And that system comes with checks and balances, 100% publicly funded campaign financing, no more private money in our government, no more oligarchs from the PSOJ to control politicians and control our government. We're going to stomp that out completely. And they hate that. They're afraid of that, because if we get in and implement that system, the PSOJ and their leadership completely lose control on our political process and our political leaders. They will lose control, and they know it. Right now, the monarchy is quaking in their boots, because if the UIC wins and implement this in Jamaica, it's going to infect the entire world. Every country will say, we want what the UIC has done in Jamaica. That's why they send their two little things here to come and see if they could trick up the people. And that's why Andrew and company bow down and worship them and try to see if they can get the people back in love with the monarchy, man. Let's see if they'll jump and prance and praise and worship. Let's see our kids stretching their hands through wire fence to touch these white people and say, oh my God, you wonderful royals. Foolishness. They do not mean us any good. Andrew Holness and Mark Golden and the PNP and the GLP who sit down and facilitate this, they do not mean Jamaica any good. And I'm not mincing word today on this. I want you to get it. I want you to understand. Any leaders who lead you to depend on another nation for your existence is a leader that will lead you back into slavery. And that's exactly where they've been leading us. Watch them. Ever since these two parties took over in 1944, ever since they took over, Jamaica has only gone down. When the colonial masters were here and they were controlling Jamaica, and they had full access to thief our money, Jamaica was up. Our banana was up. Our coffee was up. Our sugar was up. We were the jewel in the crown of England. How powerfully they brought out the best in the Jamaican economy. And as soon as they give it to some black man and say, "Una now go and run this country and pretend as if it's independent," what has it done? Crime rate gone up, unemployment skyrocketing through the roof, small businesses being destroyed left, right, and center, or oppressed and suppressed one way or the other. And every single industry that the government touched is gone. Air Jamaica, gone. Coffee, gone. Banana, gone. Sugar, gone. Everything we allow this two parties to touch, every area of our economy that they touch, gone. Mash up. What have they done with tourism? They take tourism away from the people of Jamaica, concentrate it in the hands of a few, and give those few power over the rest away, that they can maintain low wages. They can manipulate our farmers. They can use the tourist dollars to import food back into Jamaica. We're here in Jamaica and our hotels are importing food. They're not using the food from our farmers. They're importing food. So what does that mean? The tourist dollar come in and go right back out. Who own the tourist facilities? Mostly foreigners own our hotels and all-inclusive resorts. Every year, more and more foreigners take over Jamaica. Less and less Jamaicans have ownership. More and more, they're pushing the Jamaican people down. We must become, listen, they're pushing us down. We must become the street sweepers and those who will do just the lower task. They're pushing us down. Yes, there'll be a few at the top, yes. You'll have the Andrew Holnesses who want to live in the big mansions on the hill because they help to destroy the people of Jamaica. So they help to destroy the people, build themselves up and look down on the people and like to just pretend, roll up them foot and walk through water when they're ready, forget our votes. And then after that, they become our Lord and Masters for 4 to 5 years. And at the end of it, them get nice again and start to say, we're going to give you this free. We're going to give you this free. We're doing this. And make lots of announcements, pure announcements, to touch the hearts of the people, to get the people to feel like, oh, they mean we're good. Then after they win the election, right back to normal. Right back to normal. After this election, after UNUD get tricked again and vote for them again, watch what will happen. You think you see anything yet? The next set of lockdowns are going to be more atrocious than the last set. Now they're going to have the digital money to hold us. They're going to have the so-called central bank digital currency, CBDC. They're going to use that and they're going to get us by the neck. Yeah? And this time, they're going to finish us off. This time, you see all the nice things. Him drop the DRMA now, him drop the DRMA, him bring the prince and princess here, and him start to talk all kind of nice things, taking from the UIC 10-point plan and promising you housing and promising you this. All it is a trick. They have done it 78 years straight. 78 years straight. Will you allow them to do it again? Will you allow it? So they nearly killed the UIC party. Just that they tried to kill they can't find anything in my background. They cannot find anything in my background. Nothing at all. I have lived a very upstanding life my entire life. They cannot find anything in my background, no matter how much they try. They can look here, look there. I have been an ordinary, upstanding Jamaican citizen who have lived and worked around the world, and there's nothing you can find in my background. So what did they do? They try and infiltrate the UIC and create a narrative to try to destroy my character. They want to destroy my credibility because they know if they can just destroy my credibility, then the UIC is over. Yeah? So they're trying very hard. They couldn't find nothing from the outside, so they send something on the inside. Yes. They send somebody on the inside and say, let's try to see if we can pull off something here now. But in the words of Bob Marley, them I got tired for seeing my face, but them can't get me out of the race. Once again, hey, you draw a bad card. Andrew Oldness, I will reveal to the Jamaican people's memory, I will remind the Jamaican people of who you really are. The monster you proved to be in the last 2 years. The people, I don't have to fabricate it like you're trying to fabricate within using infiltrators. There's nothing to fabricate. We just need to remind the Jamaican people who you were in the last 2 years. We just have to remind the Jamaican people that you promised them economic growth, yeah, 5% in 4 years, and after 6 years, there was none. We just have to remind the Jamaican people how you use undated, signed resignation letters for senators to manipulate your senators. We just have to remind the Jamaican people how you tried to manipulate the Chief Justice so you can undermine Jamaica's justice system more than it's already undermined. We just have to remind the Jamaican people what you did to our students when you locked them out of school and destroyed their education for years to come. We just have to remind the Jamaican people what you did to small businesses during this so-called crisis, where you destroyed their businesses, oppressed their businesses, while you gave big business and big cruise ship owners the opportunities to continue to earn, while you undermined our entertainers and destroyed our small sector. You destroyed the small man. You undermined the small man. I am going to remind the Jamaican people. And if the Jamaican people are smart, and I know they are, they will recognize that this is once again another trick. They were tricked by the PNP. They were tricked by the GLP. They were tricked in 1944. They were tricked in 1962. And they were tricked again in 2020. We have to make sure that the trickery stops. The trickery needs to stop now. And yes, I am not going to get any money. My people, I'm not going to get any money from no big PSOJ company. And I don't want it. If they're coming with any money with strings attached, we don't want it. So we are going to have to do this together, my people. We are going to have to come together. We are going to have to be our own advertisement. Word of mouth. Call everybody you know. If each one of you call everybody you know, WhatsApp everybody you know, email everybody you know, send them the UIC's website, send them videos from the UIC, send them our lives, like and share and comment. Go on the Gleaner. When the Gleaner have their articles that they put out with the foolishness, go on it and write upon it and say to them, the UIC is here and the UIC has a better plan for Jamaica. The same thing on the Observer. Call the talk show and say, why would you not talking to the UIC? Call your bank and ask them, why not giving the UIC a bank account? Stand up for yourself. When you stand up for the UIC, you're standing up for yourself. Yeah? When you stand up for the UIC, you're standing up for yourself because the UIC is your party. This party is the reincarnation of Marcus Garvey's People Political Party, the same one that Norman Manley and Bustamante, acting on behalf of the crown, destroyed. Remember that. Remember that these two political parties are agents of the crown. They were sponsored by the crown, and by sponsor, make sure you understand, the crown saw it fit to have those two parties succeed. They welcomed those two parties. They nurtured those two parties, and they ganged upon and got rid of the true People's Political Party, the Marcus Garvey Party. They got rid of it. Yes, there's some people right now running around and calling themselves the Marcus Garvey People's Political Party, but that's a very different animal from what Marcus Garvey himself created. Marcus Garvey is Jamaica's premier national hero. He is a true man of action, and he understood the importance of solidifying our identity as a people. If Marcus Garvey was allowed to succeed and was not impeded by the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party, if the Marcus Garvey Party was allowed to succeed in Jamaica and was not ganged upon by the other two and the colonial masters, the Jamaican people would never have signed a constitution that put a white woman from England as their head of state. The Jamaican people would have never signed on to any agreement such as the fraudulent monetary system that we have been a part of now for several years that has robbed the Jamaican people of their purchasing power. Right now, we are suffering because of our connection to that system. If them cough, we sneeze. And so we are suffering from high inflation right now because we have leaders who do not understand economics and who have sold us out to their colonial masters. They have sold us out to their colonial masters. Jamaica should never have been a part of the International Monetary Fund. Never. We should never have been a part of the World Bank. We should never have given up our bank to the so-called banking cartels. We should never have allowed the Jamaican currency, in fact, we shouldn't have a currency, we need to have real money. We should never have joined the game of a fake so-called fiat currency. We need to have real money backed by the productivity of the Jamaican people. But instead, we have given our trust to some people who have misused that trust. In fact, they have used that trust against us. And as a result, we now have a fake money, which we call a currency. And now the Jamaican people are suffering from the high inflation because of the leadership of these two parties. They took us into this system. They have maintained us in this system, and now we're suffering. They destroyed our farming sector. They allowed the foreign masters to come in and through them trick us into becoming dependent on GMO seeds, dependent on expensive import of fertilizer. They have moved us away from organic farming into chemical pesticides and herbicides, which destroyed the quality of our land, destroyed the quality of our food, and destroyed the quality of our health. They have taken us down this path. They have caused cancers to be on the rise in Jamaica. They have allowed our foreign masters to dictate our school curriculum. Yes. And through this school curriculum, they have destroyed the minds of our people. That's why you see our little children screaming and pushing their hands through wire fences to touch two ordinary people that they claim are royals. That's what they've done to us. These misleaders have led us down a path of perdition. They have destroyed our education. They have destroyed our economy. They have destroyed our agriculture. They have destroyed our communities. And they continue to hang on to power over our people. It's time for us to bring this to an end and to do so now. We cannot allow one more election cycle to be won by these two parties. We cannot allow it. If I could stop them by myself, I would. But I can't do it by myself. I'm doing all that I can do. If you ever know how difficult it is to create a political party in this country, how difficult it is to build a political movement, how difficult it is to organize our people, the very people you're trying to organize will turn around and bite you. You understand? You ever hear the song? Sorry for Maga Dog, turn around, bite you. You have to be careful. Your own people will stab you in the back. Your own people will bite off the hand that tries to feed them. So it's difficult. And you know it. You know what I'm talking about. The very people you're trying to help will thief your money. They will sell you out. So what I'm doing here, what we're trying to do here is no easy task, especially if we're not in the business of just getting a bag of money from somebody. Because, you know, if I were to join them, if I went to the PSOJ elites and joined the game with the other two, they'll give me a lot of money. Because I say, yeah, you know, I realize the people I'm kind of getting turned off, you know, from the other two. So, yeah, man, we can give you some money and you just, you know, join the circus and say some nice words and get the people them to like you and stuff. But, you know, when you win, a certain set, you know what I mean? So I know they would love that. They would love it if I would just join the party, join the game, yeah, join the game, and just play the game with them. But we're not going to play the game. We're done with the game. We're not going to play the game, my people. We are going to fix this country once and for all. We're going to make sure that Jamaica become all that she can possibly be. And that begins with respecting the people of Jamaica. We need a system of governance that honors, that celebrates, that respects, and empowers the people of Jamaica. We don't want no more Bakra master over us. We don't want the Bakra master of the Bakra master of the GLP. We don't want that. Yes. We don't want no more Bakra master over us. We don't want no more colonial master over us. We, the United Independence Congress of Jamaica, UIC, is going to completely eradicate colonialism from this country. We are not going to allow any more colonial institutions to stand in this country. We want no fake republic. We do not want what, you know, let me tell you what they have planned, okay? This is what they have planned for you. And now my internet is beginning to act up because whenever I'm on these lives, they say all kind of things start to happen, eh? But let me tell you what, it is their plan. It is their plan to simply rename the Governor General to President and to remove any reference to the Queen as our head of state. It is their plan to have the two parties to decide on who should be your president, just like how each party decide who will be your prime minister and head of government. Nothing else will change. Nothing. The same system which brought us here over the period of 78 years will be the same system in place after they call Jamaica a republic by, on paper, removing the Queen and changing the title of the Governor General from Governor General to President, just like they did in Barbados. They are going to do the same thing to Jamaica. Yes, they might have a few more window dressing. They might do a few more little tinkering with the system now that I'm speaking. Okay, know what I say, you know, is what they act on. Yeah. So they try very hard to make sure that they nullify anything I say. So they try hard. So they're going to come with some plaything changes. Yes, some plaything. and they're going to try to change the superficial title of what exists now, but keep the substance of it. And that substance is going to mean no change for you and me. You think Jamaicans are sitting here waiting with bated breath for the Governor General to be called a president? You think that's what Jamaicans want? No. The Jamaican people want a system change that's going to change their lives. They want the UIC's youth employment solution that is going to ensure that every single child who leaves school now and is not going on to further studies for various reasons, they want those children, those young people, to be able to have a job as an apprentice that pays them to learn and make them into highly productive citizens. Of course, now you see the JLP government is copying that. Okay? It will only be an announcement. They will have a few token young people that they will hire, but it will not be the UIC solution because it will not be for all Jamaicans. It will be friend and company. And just like the Ruel Reid situation, and those you don't know about, they will thief the money allocated to the program. The corruption will still be there, the thievery will still be there, and the outcome will be just as unimpressive as all the other programs that they have announced. So the YES program that we have put together will not be copied. What will be copied are the sound bites of it so that they can distract you to vote for them again. Yeah? They will not do the UIC housing program, which is to take the Singaporean model that gives all Jamaicans a high quality home, very decent home, decent living room, decent bathroom, decent kitchen, decent bedrooms, wonderful community parks, community centers, library, a beautiful community that you can live in and be proud of. That's not what they're promising you. Again, they're taking the sound bites from the UIC to now say they're going to give everybody housing, but it's going to be poor quality mattress box that they stuff you in and steal the money again through corruption. Yeah? They will not do what we're going to do for the police service. Again, they're going to talk about a police service. They're going to start changing the words like they have done. They'll tell you they're going to do more for the police. And yes, they will fix a few areas there and there. But again, the police is going to be underpaid, improperly trained, and the kind of policing we need will not be implemented, and there will not be any true transparency and accountability. And so the corruption will remain, and Jamaica will continue to decline. So again, they will borrow our words, borrow our phrases, borrow our ideas, but they will not deliver on them in the ways that will make Jamaica the safe, clean, and orderly country that the UIC is going to make it. Yeah. So I have said a lot so far, and I want to thank you for your patience. Let me take a few questions now. I mean, I'm sure there are questions that went down before. I can't see them now, so post it again. Any questions you have, I will take them now, please. Thank you so much. But we have to do this, my friends. We have to do very, very better. We have to make the change now. I am begging you, I am imploring you, please, let us not allow another election to go by. If you're in a community and you want to run for the UIC, raise your hand. Go on our website, sign up today, and volunteer to be a candidate, MP or councillor, for your constituency or your division, please. Carl Williams is saying, when are you coming to the US? I don't know. I have not taken their injection, and I will not be taking their injection. So I don't have any immediate plans to come to the US. So we'll have to suffice with some online sessions like these. Nor do I have the money. So if I'm going to come to the US, it will be because some of you decide to sponsor the trip and I come over. And if they allow me to come without taking their injections, then I will come. What is your view on the delaying of local government elections? Well, my view on the delay is that they delayed the local government election to trick the people. They saw that the UIC was rising in popularity. They saw that the people were angry. And if they had called an election then, that anger would have come out in the election. So now they're trying to sweet up the people. So they're dropping the DRMA and offering a lot of goodies, some free money, and some nice sounding ideas that they're copying from the UIC. So they're hoping that two things will happen. The people will have a short memory, so they'll forget about what was done to them, over the last 2 years and the impact. They will also forget about the UIC. And they're also hoping that they would have caused some mayhem in the UIC, crippled me in terms of my credibility, and by extension, cripple the party and push it out of existence so that they can continue to be the monopoly powers over the electoral process. If there's no UIC, then there's no other option for the Jamaican people. So that is the plan. But we're working through it. Yeah. So let's make sure they don't win. We must make sure they don't win. If the UIC don't win, something is wrong with the people, says JMH. Yes, but all of us now have to come together and make sure the UIC win. All of us. I mean, all of you on this live, share the live, share all of my lives, share all of our content, the UIC content, and talk to your people, talk to your family, convince people, let them know what's going on, and let them understand what these two parties have done and are trying to do, how they're trying to block us, and you get the news out, word of mouth, get people in tune, all right? And also, it's very important that you volunteer in the movement, that you donate to the movement, and that you help us to find candidates. We need more MP candidates. We need more council candidates. We need more than one. So if there are even 2 or 3 persons in an area, we'll let them work together, and we see which is the best one, and so on. So we can, deliver for the people of Jamaica. Purpose, Mr. Patterson, why can you have a concrete? Sorry, why can't you have a concert to get some money? Well, I don't know, if it's just as easy as having a concert. But what would be good is if persons who are willing to help us do a concert, you have contact to entertainers and artists, and people with the skills and competencies who can pull this off. I'm more than happy to participate. So can you help us? Can you organize a benefit concert for the UIC? I'd be happy to participate and make it happen. But I don't have the skills myself, and I don't have anybody in the organization who has the skills at the moment to pull that off, who understands the market properly. So if you have the skills, I know that there's a gentleman, Steve Lynn, who had the same idea, and I think he has some plans to do something. So if he volunteers and you volunteer to help with that aspect of fundraising, and we can put it together, that would be good. Another comment here. Yes, Judith is saying that some young people don't want to farm, and there's lots to it. Farming in Jamaica is not, it's not necessarily easy. When a person is hungry and they have to go and farm something and wait for it to grow, and then while they're waiting, somebody go and steal it. Just when it's ready for ripe, somebody steal it. They don't, the water to water it. They don't have access to the water. They to buy the things, to put the things in place to get the water to it. It's not easy. Farming is not. If you're doing a little backyard thing, a little thing for yourself, that's fine. And of course, you need something to sustain you while you're waiting for it to come. So if you plant, let's say you plant some, cabbage and carrot and tomato and stuff in your backyard, that's not all you're going to subsist on. You need other things, right? And while you're waiting for it to come, you have to care for it. You have to, water it. You have to weed it. You have to mulch it, and have your organic fertilizer. So there's lots involved. So let's be very honest about it. It's not easy thing to just get up and farm. You can do little something, and we all should do something. But there's more to life than that. I mean, a person who doesn't have a shelter over him head secure or whatever. And yes, you have some young people, they're distracted, they're disoriented, so they need help, they need guidance, they need adults in the room, they need leadership, right? And we have to provide that leadership. Let me see what I have here. The benefit concert would be ideal. Use the government's own tactics against them. They dropped the DRMA. Well, yes, but remember, we still have to get the work done. So we need help to get that done. So volunteer, please, and bring those help. Anybody with some great ideas, volunteer and come and help us to put those ideas into place. Mr. P, you're so right. PNP and JLP, it's the same nonsense happening. Absolutely. Any other questions? I see, what is this here? It look like Valley Jones, I guess, replying to Andre Wilson. Okay, good. Yes. Okay, so there are no further questions. So I'm going to lock off the live now. If there are no other questions. So going once, going twice. Anybody else have any question? Let us not be too harsh on the young people, all right? Remember, our young people are a product of our old people and our system. So whatever we see happening with our young people, there are cause and effect relationships, right? So, I am at a loss sometimes when I see what some of the things our young people do, but I do know that there are reasons behind it. There are, they're not just doing these things because they're stupid or foolish. There are things which are happening there. UIC Jamaica, would you be willing to go on a show with Mark Golding like Lonesome or Unstoppable? Yes, man, I've been on both of them. I've been on a show with Unstoppable. I've been on Wayne Lonesome, and I've been on Jamaica and Carlos, and a number of others as well. Selburn Smart. I've done quite a few shows, and I'm always open and willing to talk. But I want us to move past the entertainment phase of politics, eh? We have real work to do now. So it's not just to talk. Like I will need you. I need you to get involved in helping us to recruit members, recruit candidates, raise funds, spread the word. Remember, we're blocked from TV, so we're not on TV. The PSOJ oligarchs, they have blocked us from their TV, right, and from their radio and from their newspaper. So it's social media we use, and even social media from time to time have also blocked us, right? So we have to realize that we have a lot is stacked against us. A lot is stacked against us, but we the people can make it happen. Yeah, we the people can make it happen. So the person says, I meant more of seeing you two talking about politics. You mean to have, I'm very happy to have a talk on any of the shows with the leader of the other two political parties. I would welcome that. I'd welcome a debate with the leaders of the other two parties. It will be a non-issue. It will be an easy debate for me because they have no legs to stand on. They have led a very corrupt enterprise. They're leading two parties that have destroyed Jamaica over 78 years. They have consistently lied to the people or broken their promises to the people. They have kept us under the colonial masters for 78 years. Only now they're talking about, they've talked about it before, but only now they're beginning again to talk about Republic and so on. So I'd be very happy to have a debate with the two of them, and it's going to be a very easy debate. It'll be the easiest debate I ever did. Even my high school debates would have been harder because, to be honest with you, there's nothing at all that Mark Golding or Andrew Holness can say in defense of the quality of their leadership and of their political parties. None whatsoever. They created the garrisons in Jamaica. They created the ghettos. They created the squatter communities. They created the poor healthcare, the poor education, the poor economy. So there is no basis for them. There's no defense left for them in terms of what. All they can do is to say, we will do better in the future. And all the Jamaican people have to do is to say, well, based on what I see in the past, I have no incentive to believe you will do better in the future. Yeah. Uh, okay. What do we have here now? I suggest a segment explaining how the Jim Crow will still affect how the people relate to each other in Jamaica so many years after slavery. Okay. Um, what do you think about USA inviting MP to White House and giving Jamaica millions? Yeah, I saw the prime minister on his begging trip, along with his entourage and so on. I'm so tired of that. I mean, it's so belittling, eh? It's so belittling the way we run this country and behave as if we are lackeys uh, to others and looking for photo opportunities with foreign masters. I have no interest in that kind of leadership. When I visit with the American president or the Canadian prime minister or the British prime minister or any other leaders of the free world, it will not be as a subservient beggar like our prime minister and his entourage. Jamaica will not be begging under my leadership. Jamaica will be building. Jamaica will be creating. Jamaica will be exporting, and people will be begging to move to Jamaica. When the UIC is finished with Jamaica, you're going to have to impose visa restrictions for persons coming in from those countries because so many of them will want to leave the where they are to come to Jamaica. All of our Jamaican diaspora will want to return home after they see what we have done with Jamaica. We're going to make sure Jamaica becomes one of the safest, cleanest, most orderly place on earth to live, to work, and to retire. We're going to make Jamaica the number one destination for liberty, where you can live in peace and free at the same time. I see some of the public gobbling all up the PR boost from the yes. There's some really dumb people out there, especially from the intellectual class who you believe should know better, and they're out there promoting the foolishness again to be tricked again. Question: how many candidates does the UIC have? We have about 105 persons so far who have gone through our vetting process, and we have another roughly 55 or so who are being vetted right now. And we're always reviewing and it's reassessing and see who we will, have and who we'll keep, and we'll make the final decision closer to the election call as well. What are your plans with trade deals going forward? That's a question from, it looks like, Homeboy TV. Our trade deals will be very, very simple. We are going to do free trade with any country that does free trade with us. It's very, very simple. So if you want real free trade where we are free to export to your country and you're free to export to our country, that's a deal we're going to have. We're not going to have any deal which destroy our local industries. We're not going to have any deal which makes us subservient to any other country. Internally, we're going to have a very free and fair market economy. And externally, we're going to trade freely with anyone who wants to trade freely with us. What do you think about the PM recent trip? I think it was a trip to further trick the Jamaican people, and he has gotten some money to do that. That's all it is. Set up GoFundMe for UIC. There is a GoFundMe out there right now, but we don't need to do GoFundMe, Paulette. You can go on our website. Anybody can go on our website and donate, so it's all there. You just go on and click and donate using any of the means that we provide for you to do so. Should the PM be receiving money from the USA while he is filling JA with Chinese? JJ, I'm not sure I understand the question. I mean, the Prime Minister is doing what the two parties have always done, right? They play games with us, and one of the games is to go abroad and get announcements that they're getting money, and that is supposed to make them look good in the eyes of the Jamaican people and fool us and get elected. In terms of China, it doesn't matter to me where and how. The game is the game, and we need to stop the game. Don't underestimate the competition, sir. They are well backed, and don't think Golding would be in an easy debate. Um, he has to be sharp. No, I'm not underestimating the competition at all. I know that they have a lot of words that they're going to say, but there's no word to describe away what they have done to Jamaica. And yes, they have lots of money backing them, which I and the UIC do not have. So that will be a formidable issue. But in a real debate where we're really talking about the issues, it's a non-issue. The scorecard is stacked with failure, and the only people who won't see the failure are those who are not intelligent enough to see it, and those who are too a part of the corruption to want to see it. So those are the only two issues there, right? How will the UIC pay off so much debt? Well, it's the people of Jamaica who are going to pay off the debt. And so right now we're paying the debt. So it's still the Jamaican people are going to pay off the debt. What we're going to have, though, is a new Jamaica under the UIC, which is going to make the Jamaican people far more productive than they are now, because we're going to free up the economy and we're going to empower the people to become highly productive. So a UIC government leading Jamaica and the new system we put in place will actually make it easier for us to pay off whatever debts we need to pay off. Some debts we'll have to renegotiate because of a number of factors which I can get into at another time. There are so many Jamaicans who would like to return home, but because of the crime and violence are afraid to. Absolutely, Jones. Yes, there are many Jamaicans who want to return home and can't return or are afraid to return because of that. KB, I disagree, says, I think this is Misha. Golden cannot debate Patterson. You know, I'm sure, Misha, that he might be a good debater. I don't know. But on a content level, neither Golden or Andrew or anyone in their party is a match for me. It doesn't matter who they bring. And by match, I mean, I'm only talking about the truth, right? All I have to do is present to the Jamaican people the truth, and it's over. Or you're going to run some ads when the time comes. Daly's asking. Well, if I have my way, the UIC won't be spending a dime with the media houses that have failed to practice good journalism. So they have not reported us to the Jamaican people unbiased and open. And so there's no need for us to give them our donors money. So you giving us your $1,000 and 10,000, or your US 10 or British pound 50 or Canadian 25, I cannot in good conscience take those donations and spend it with the media channels that have failed to honor their responsibilities as unbiased journalists, right? So no, we'll spend our money directly with the people of Jamaica to get the message out. Somebody said, I started business in Jamaica with $20 US, and I could be sorry, I missed that, it's gone. Next question. I don't know why America keep on giving these criminals money. Well, it's very easy, Samity. America will support any system that continues to, and by America, I mean the because remember, America, has its own problems, its own political corruption and so on. So they support groups that supports what they're trying to do. So, I mean, Andrew has been a very good puppet and parrot over the last 2 years, so he deserves to get some benefits for having done that. And that's why he has done it, right? He's going to get the reward for doing what they want him to do. What are you going to do? I missed that. What are you going to do regarding the BPO? What do you mean? What is the problem with the BPO? Tell me what you want me to talk about. If you beat the PNP government next election, it's the beginning of the end for Jamaica as we know it. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Rodolph. Explain. you should still try the media channels because people need to know about the UIC. KB, I'm not trying. I'm very present and here for the media channels. They have chosen to not do proper journalism. So I've gone straight to the people, and that's why I'm here with you today on this channel. And we can get many Jamaicans. When I go to the markets in Westmoreland or in Clarendon or in St. Catherine, for example, market people sitting over their yams and bananas and pumpkins and so on recognize me immediately when I walk in, and they hold up their phone and say, I watch you on UIC Liberty TV. So the market people are seeing me. The ordinary Jamaicans are seeing me. Yes, we have to get it to more of them by making more people aware. So let's do that. I have no intention to give poor people money to these media channels that have tried to deny poor people access to a third option. In fact, it's the second option because the other two are one option, and we're the second option. Need to see your candidates more often. I agree with that totally, and we're trying to get them out there. Remember, it's a bit of a challenge with the media, but we're trying to get the members out more. It's been quite a work. Jamaica will be better off without both parties. Beat one party sets the stage to beat the other. Well, our goal today is not so much to beat the parties. Our goal is to win for the Jamaican people. Our goal is to help the Jamaican people to win. Now, standing in the way of that win are two colonial parties. So in order for the Jamaican people to win, the UIC needs to win. When the UIC wins, the Jamaican people win. The UIC loses, the Jamaican people loses. Some will benefit from continuing the corruption enterprise, but in general, many will lose. Somebody asked, do we have anybody? Alvin is asking, do we have anybody in Gimmicks in Clarendon? An area I often refer to. I don't know that we have somebody just yet, but I'll have to check with the membership director and see. What are you going to do to stop them from stealing the vote? Well, by having all of our indoor agents and outdoor agents do their jobs on election day, together with your vigilance as well. Wilbert Myers is asking about PAYE taxes. Can you explain for me what do you want to know about the taxes, please? Mr. P, they will try to do some of the things so you can see. Yes. Another person here, Homeboy, says, I'm in the UK and I can't wait for the change to happen. Need to come home. I share the pain. Who is the candidate for Junction St. Elizabeth? We have Rose Neal over there in Junction. Yes, YouTube bigger than TV. Absolutely, it's amazing. I mean, I see grandmothers watching YouTube, grandfathers, telling me that they're seeing us on UIC Liberty TV. So that's good. Jamie says he will take a picture to prove that he voted UIC. Thank you for that. That's very kind. What about St. Mary? Do you have anyone for St. Mary? Yes, there are a number of St. Mary candidates, and Chase Neal is our captain over there. So you can speak with him. If the UIC needs administrative help, I have a background in political science and would love to help in my capacity. I'm currently residing in Sweden. That's Christopher Daly. Welcome, Mr. Daly. I'd love to have your help. We do need your help. So go on the website, please, and sign up if you haven't yet, and volunteer to help. Is it realistic that everyone can become a home owner here? Very good question, KB. We're going to make every Jamaican a property owner by dealing with the family, right? So the family, just look at Singapore, they've done it. They have 92% ownership rate. We're going to have a 98% rate minimum. So we're going to make all families property owner. We have a very brilliant arrangement to make that happen by having all Jamaicans becoming shareholders in the land. So no more crown land. You become shareholders in the land. So when the land is used to produce, all Jamaicans will get an income from that as shareholders by right, because when you're born here, you become entitled to have a share in the land called Jamaica. So the approach taken where they've given this land to the crown and then allow the puppets of the crown to cherry pick, who they give our lands to, or so-called sell our lands to, is wrong. It's immoral and unethical, and should have been illegal, but it wasn't. So we're going to reverse that by beginning at the bottom. We're going to work from the bottom up. So the poorer you are, you're the first in line to become a shareholder in the land and to get access to one of the many condominiums that we're going to create. We're going to try to keep as much of the land for farming as possible and build high density homes in city center areas with parks and daycare and that kind of stuff, and build upwards like we do in Singapore. So Singapore has the size of St. Thomas, and in that size of St. Thomas, they have 6 million people. Okay, so Singapore is the size of St. Thomas, and they have 6 million people in that St. Thomas. We have 14 St. Thomases, right? In fact, we're 15 times bigger than Singapore, so about 15 times that size. So we could have 15 times 6 million. We're not going to, of course, make Jamaica that dense in terms of housing. We're going to concentrate the housing in key population areas, build up population areas that we want. So all the garrisons are going to be gone, all the ghettos, all the squatter communities. Convert all of those lovely high-rise condominiums, really good qualities. I mean, really high-class living here. We're talking in terms of design. And then it's owned by the family. So it's going to become intergenerational, right? So while every one person won't just own something outright, it becomes family property, and it will be properly managed and maintained by a property management scheme that we would have set up so that the values never drop, they only go up and are properly maintained. And we'll go from there. So much more to come in the future. I know that I'm going to tease this too, but I have to tell you something. Say here about where we're heading. Good day. Who is candidate for? So all the questions on candidates, please go on our website and just ask. Go in the contact section and ask for the information, and it will be sent to you. So if you want to know who your candidate is, it will be. We're also going to upload all of this soon on our website. You'll see all the candidates. You can go and pick your parish, pick your constituency, pick your division, and see all the candidates listed there. So you'll get that soon. They have driven us to self-destruction, absolutely. Replying to, sorry, what's this one here? Let me see now. Only Indian and Chinese and white men them use control the economy. Keith, you're so correct. Keith Campbell. It's not so much race, but it has turned out that way because they give access to the economy to some people, and they tend to be the high-colored people, the connected few. And of course, when others come from outside with a little bit of something, they get breaks and blights that we, the ordinary Jamaicans, especially the lower strata, take me, for example. When I came back from Canada in 2011, if I wanted to be a part of the connected few, I could easily get into that because I came back with a little bit of money. I am supposedly highly educated, and I fit the profile that can easily be brought into their system and scheme. So they'll quickly suck me in, and I would now be a part of the game and help them to trick you and suppress you and enjoy a higher standard of living myself at your expense. I decided not to. I don't get involved in I don't go to their functions. I don't go to their drinks. I don't try to be a part of their network. I'm not interested. I don't want to be a part of their system. I hate their system. I find it repulsive, the system that they have created. So I don't want to be a part of it, even though it would be easy for me to be a part of it. And I was invited to be a part of it. I do not want to be a part of it. I want a Jamaica where you can succeed without any connection. You must just succeed based on merit. We call that a meritocracy, like you have in Singapore. People in Singapore succeed based on merit, not because you know this a person, know that the person. None of that. We're tired of that. We don't want that in Jamaica anymore. We want a Jamaica that brings out the best in all its people. That's what we want. Yeah. Will the UIC push for an edict to have Jamaicans abroad, edict to have Jamaicans abroad being able to vote in local and national elections? It won't be an edict, but yes, the UIC will make it easy for Jamaicans everywhere to vote in our local elections here. Any election, you'll get to vote for president, the VPs, and so on. So we want to have Jamaica as a nation is what we're looking at. So whether you're living in Africa or India or Europe or North America or other Caribbean islands, you will all be a part of the new Jamaica and be able to vote from wherever you are. Yeah. So many good, hardworking Jamaicans suffering and working without reward. Enough is enough. Absolutely, Misha. We need to stop this thing. Uh, that's a big one. That's great. Said it looks like what's that now? Jean Andrew. Forgive me if I'm missing. I'm not seeing the name clearly. Is it Jason? Not sure. Mr. Patterson, I asked many times on your live, if you form the next government, what are you going to do about JPS? Because the OR is useless, or maybe JPS are paying them lump sum of money to keep them mouth shut. All right. Well, it says here Mackenzie. I can't pronounce the first name. I'm not seeing it clearly. But what am I going to do about JPS? Very simple. The UIC government is going to open the energy sector so that we will have competition. We're going to have all kind of energy options. We're going to make the electricity grid a public resource that allows all energy suppliers to tap into that grid and to offer energy for sale to the Jamaican people via a common grid. What this means is that you're now going to have all kind of energy mixes coming into the grid, and you can buy from whoever you want on the grid, and it's going to bring the cost of electricity down tremendously. Yeah. So hopefully this answers the question now. There'll be no more need for the OUR, and there'll be no more monopoly for the JPS. We're now going to have a fully market-driven economy, and when it comes on to energy, there'll be a new energy mix: solar, wind, biogas, geothermal. All kind of energy mixes will come in, and the Jamaican people will have access to technology without the burdensome import duties that they can bring in and produce energy at a cheaper rate for the Jamaican people. We're going to allow extensive research and development to bring new supplies of energy to market here. So what about solar system? Yes, we'll have solar, biogas, wind, hydro, geothermal, all kind of energy mixes will be brought in. Okay, what about the contract with government and JPS? All contracts can be renegotiated and even terminated. The Jamaican people are not going to be held ransom by any company or any country. But of course, we're going to be diplomatic and do our best to reach, reasonable, amicable solutions. But at the end of the day, we're here to defend the Jamaican people, not the JPS. Next question. Oh, somebody says the UIC is the education party. Absolutely. Our job is to educate and empower the people, and that's what we sell. We do not buy votes, and we will not buy votes. So we'll only be elected if the Jamaican people want to learn and grow and have a government that is now not about playing politics, but about empowering the people of Jamaica to succeed. Will you pardon persons convicted under the DMRA? Absolutely. A UIC win will mean everybody that was convicted under the DRV will be freed, and you'll be refunded any fines that you have paid, and we will prosecute the politicians who sought to prosecute you. And we're going to actually investigate all politicians that were a part of this parliament for treason. This is serious. We're going to look at it very closely. We're also going to investigate all politicians for corruption. We're going to investigate those who are a part of the oligarchy who have facilitated any form of corruption. And we're going to give some people a chance to come clean through our Truth and Reconciliation Commission. But those who do not come clean will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Hi, Mr. Patterson. I'm in the UK, said Delton Hamilton. Please stop cling them colonial masters. They are colonial oppressors. Oh, please stop calling them. I understand. They're the colonial masters of our two colonial parties. They're not my masters. But I understand what you're saying. They're colonial oppressors, yes. But I call them the masters for effect. They are the colonial masters who are the masters of our colonial parties, who are the background masters of the people of Jamaica. And yes, they are behaving like masters. Yeah. So we call them what they are, and we try to get you to be aware so we can take action. Question: what will the UIC do to eliminate corporate slavery? Call centers and BPO. All right, hold on for 1 second. Hold that thought. We'll have to take a quick break. Just a minute.
UIC. Freedom of people of need. Hell yeah. Freedom of people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom of people of want. Freedom of people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom of people of want.
Okay, welcome back. So, call centers. I'd love to talk this one through with you because I don't want us to have the wrong impression here. A call center or a BPO, business process outsourcing facility, is not a bad thing. The problem we have in Jamaica is that it's almost the only thing for all of our students who are graduating from university. That is the problem. Because what you want an environment where people have choice. So if you are better than a call center or don't like what the call center job offers, you want to have opportunities to go to other options. And what the two major colonial parties have done is to gradually take away your options. So the UIC will bring back those options. When I left UTEC in the 1990s, I had 4 job offers. So I had options. I could choose between them, and that's what we want to create options. We don't want to vilify any particular job. There are many jobs, that are painful. You think many of the market workers, they don't want to get up every day and go to the market, they leave home early in the morning and go up on the market truck and, drive on to the market, and the market dusty and does smell good and so on. But that's a job, right? And they're doing that job because they don't have another in their minds at least, and based on their circumstances, that's the option they have. So we don't want to beat down a particular job. What we want to do is to make sure that you're not being prevented from having options by a bad system and bad governance. There seem to be a few admirers of the TNT in the comments. Would you enlighten them that your policies are in total opposition to the ideology of that party? Well, I can't speak to that. I don't know what the ideology is of their party. I don't think the PNP and the GLP have any ideology anymore. They used to talk about, being ideologically different. But the only ideology I see in both of those parties is to win elections at all costs and to then undertake a massive scheme of corruption until they are voted out of office and to trick the people to try to be reelected. So obviously the UIC is very different from that. We do not subscribe to those ideology. Our ideology is a Jamaica that protects the individual sovereignty of every citizen, by providing Jamaicans with a safe, clean, and orderly environment where every Jamaican can live, earn, and retire with dignity in their own country. So that's our ideology. Now, if a person here who is who was or still is associated with the PNP or the JLP, and they think that they like what the UIC is about, we welcome that. We invite you to tear up your PNP and JLP membership and to apply for membership in the UIC and proudly tell your fellow Jamaicans about the vision, the mission, the values, the objectives, the philosophy of the UIC and help us. In fact, we have persons in the UIC, a different, different persons that I've come across who were once strong supporters of one or the other of the party, and now they're aware and have made their choice to join hands with us and to help us to build a real new Jamaica. You're all welcome. The UIC is the party for all Jamaicans. So whether you're from one of the other two parties initially, or you're an independent, or you have never participated, you're all welcome. Will you implement a second language for Jamaica? Um, no, we won't implement a second language for Jamaica. Jamaica has one language, and it is the Jamaican language. And we also embrace you learning uh, many other languages because there's no harm in that. It's very good to learn many languages. And we operate for the purpose of our productivity and ease of communication among all of us and with our fellow human beings outside of Jamaica, we adopt the English language as our standard for that communication. So we will have the Jamaican language properly codified and become our language. So, for example, we want our children to be able to speak comfortably and to be happy in their colloquial language, in their Jamaican language. So, yeah man, wagwan my brother, things today, yeah man, whatever. To talk freely in their language whenever they want. And to have the English language as our standard common language that we use here in our country and in dealing with other parties. Hope I'm being clear. I'm not sure if I fully understand the motive of the question, but if you're saying, will we embrace other languages? We certainly will encourage Jamaicans to learn any language they want to learn. Yeah. So Brent Gordon is asking how. How what? What are you asking how to? I'm not sure. I mean the language issue. Nothing will change in terms of having English being taught in school, and I think we should also codify the Jamaican language and standardize it so that we can use the language quite well, both in our learning institutions and we already use at home. Many of us, all of us, use the Jamaican language at home. It'd be good if we can standardize it for us, or even just allow it to continue to evolve. If you have across the 14 parishes, the Jamaican language is used differently, and it's so sweet. You have different mix and tones and color in the language, and I think it's fine. I think just embrace it, man. Let's live with it. Let it shine as our unique element. Let the tourists come and we go and we talk our language, family language, the way we want to, the way we do it in our different locales. So I'm quite comfortable with that. Um, 6 time my mother have voted for the JLP, somebody says, and say she will not vote for them again. You have a wise mother. It's about time. What will you do to ensure that public works are completed on time? Brent Gordon is asking again. So, well, right now we don't have a proper public works department. So we're going to have a proper minister using the UIC model of ministers. We're going to have a proper minister, somebody who's trained and qualified to do the job. And we're going to then, hold all of those accountable the way we should do in any business. Yeah, so we're going to run government like a business when it comes on to being total quality management, value for money management, uh, concern for the customer in terms of customer service, and holding people accountable for the quality of the work and the longevity of the product. So, for example, in the UIC government, when a road is built, whether it's using asphalt or concrete, we're going to hold the builder accountable for the performance of that road. So if it breaks before it's time, then of course there's compensation for that. Uh, so there's a point here from somebody, a very long thing, so I can't read it all. But the suggestion here is that others will try to stop us, outside forces. But let's not worry about them now. Eh? Before we worry about the outside forces coming to stop us, let's just make sure we get elected. Let's focus on communicating and getting elected, right? Paulette Steele, you don't even get Jamaican food to eat at the resort. Pure pasta, exactly, Paulette, exactly. So we're going to fix that. We must, a new Jamaica, a UIC Jamaica, farmers are going to be super happy. Farmers are going to be the most sought after profession in the new Jamaica. Farmers are going to be the elite citizens of this country because we're going to cook um, organic food and make Jamaica the organic food capital of the world at the top of our agenda. So a UIC government is a farmers government. We're going to help farmers to become the masters of food production in the world. So you're talking about retraining, you're talking about new technology, you're talking about maximizing all of our land. We're going to have massive organic farms across the country. We're talking thousands and thousands of jobs, all kinds of jobs. You have accounting jobs, you have technology jobs, you have heavy equipment jobs, you have actual farming jobs, you have reaping jobs, you have packaging jobs, you have processing jobs, all kind of factors spin off. It's going to be an amazing new era for Jamaica. Again, watch out for this. Andrew and Mark is going to copy what I just said a while ago. You're going to hear it now in all of their flyers and documents. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. They're going to talk about it. They can't do it. They will not do it. And even if they want to do it, they can't because the system they're going to try to use to do it is a system of corruption. So even when they try to get it off the ground, if they try anything, it's going to be theft, 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 corruption, waste, failure. They've proven it, my friends. They've proven it. So don't get distracted when they start to tell you what the UIC is planning. Yeah? Mr. Patterson, how will a police service be effective with this crime problem as opposed to a police force? Well, as I said before, solving crime is more than just the police, it is the system. So if we don't have a new government system that itself tackles corruption in the way the UIC has put it forward, you don't have anything, right? So we're going to, I'll give you an example, right? Just to remind us what we've heard before. Think about the new system in the UIC right now, and you hear Mark Golding talking about expanding the Senate to bring in the diaspora. Pure gimmickry, like pure gimmick. It doesn't solve anything. Yes, it will create a buzz because they're trying to win the diaspora back from the UIC because the diaspora is very tuned into the UIC right now. The diaspora is coming up. The diaspora is getting really engaged with the UIC, right? So they're trying to win back the diaspora by offering a gimmick. The gimmick is they're going to go and take some of you and appoint you into the Senate. But that's foolishness. That doesn't solve the problem. The problem in Jamaica is governance, bad governance, which leads to corruption and waste and so on. Now, instead of the Senate being an appointed body like it is now, where the opposition leader appoints 8 and the prime minister appoints 13, and these figureheads now become the rubber stamp for the government and the opposition, and they add no real substantive value to the governance model. The UIC is going to change that. We're going to make all senators elected. So each parish will elect one senator. This is not a gimmick. This is now about governance, good governance, not gimmicks to win votes and to distract and so on. We're going to have 14 senators instead of 21. Instead of 21 appointed senators, we're going to have 14 elected senators. And these 14 elected senators are now going to be incentivized by our design to laser focus on the needs of their parishes and to make sure that whatever laws are coming up through the House of Representatives are scrutinized to deliver on the interest of the people of their parishes. So the gimmick of Mark Golden about appointing some diaspora members, and you hear some intellectuals jumping up and down supporting it, is just that, a gimmick. So the UIC is going to fix governance properly. Similarly, in the House of Representatives, we're no longer going to allow parties to parachute people into constituencies. We're going to allow and require that the persons who are running lives and comes from the constituency, okay? Live there, work there, or have business there, and therefore is a part of the fabric of that society and are faced with the challenges that they can properly represent. But most importantly, the UIC will eliminate private money from the electoral process. So no more 30 million from this private sector organization and 30 million from this sector and 30 million from that special interest group. No more of that. Instead, 100% publicly funded electoral system. And that means now every candidate, rich or poor, will have the same access to radio, television, internet, town hall meetings, and debates. No more fanfare. The focus will be now on the content of their manifesto, the content of their character, and their ability to communicate that to the people today. Standardize. All of these candidates will have to go through a standardized testing process to verify that they have the competencies and skills to serve in office. So no more little empty shells that can win elections but actually can't deliver quality to the Jamaican people. Third, we're going to remove ministers of government from being elected politicians. Instead, we're going to have qualified and competent subject matter experts that will be nominated by the executive branch, the core executive, which is the president, the 3 vice presidents from the county, and the general secretary and president secretary. They will, under the leadership of the president, nominate a subject matter expert